this love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. This love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this year's Smite AVGL Championship Playoffs. We haven't gotten there yet. This is actually the regular season, as we have teams from all over representing their respective colleges and trying to show that they are the best university when it comes to Smite.
And
I was going to say.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, my name is Major, and joining me today is Penny. Penny Imba, or what's some of these actually been known as?
Really just Penny Emba, and then it got shortened to Penny because nobody wants to say the whole thing. But hopefully we have an awesome game for you guys today. We have UC Santa Cruz on the Order side of your map, and Riverside on the Chaos side of the map. Santa Cruz is going to be comprised of Uki on the Osiris solo, Omarcio 64 playing that Circuit jungle, Liras on the Poseidon mid, and then Buttermy Matthew and Raihez Best on that Hou-Yi Ganesha duo lane. And why don't you go ahead and introduce Riverside for us?
Well, Riverside boasting the red jerseys. They're going to be comprised of Savisaur in the middle lane as the Toth. There's a little bit of action going on over in the jungle here. Thor in a little bit of danger, but Prowwow in the solo lane is Erling Shin. Mango Swag, oh my goodness, couldn't even get out the rest of the team names before someone died. Mango Swag in the jungle is Thor. Kialak in the support role as Athena, and Stunning in the AD carry role as Rama. Now, over in the duo lane is where a lot of action is happening now, as there already was a first blood in the solo lane, I believe. Couldn't actually catch that one, as it was a little bit distracting. Now, before we get too in-depth with the rest of this match, just remember, more watching equals more credits. And you might be asking, what is a credit? Well, a credit is how you can go ahead and enter for a chance to win 400 gems at the end of the stream. Be sure to watch. Every 3 minutes, you get about 3 credits. I might be a little wrong on the numbers there, but ultimately, the goal is watch more Smite, and there's never anything wrong with that. But getting back to the game, a little bit of action going around pretty early on this time.
Absolutely, and actually my spectator client's a little bugged. I'm going to go ahead and restart if you want to take over just for the time being.
All right, that is perfectly fine. Over in the right side of the map is the Osiris as well as Circuit, just boxing it up and taking a quick look just to make sure we know who exactly died and gave up first blood. It actually will be, yes, it was the Erling Shin. So Osiris did pick up that solo lane kill, and that is going to be very beneficial to him, as he is a very dangerous character as we go into the middle stages of the game. Now the question becomes, what are they going to do with that advantage? And it looks like they're going to try and bully some of the enemy jungle camps. Erling Shin, not exactly the best character when it comes to fighting without mana, so I think that Osiris taking this blue buff is definitely a big win for them. Now, Riverside hasn't done anything too aggressive, and rightfully so. They do have a Thor, not exactly the strongest character pre-level 5, functions a little bit in the same way as Hun Boss, but once he gets to that point, it becomes a much more dangerous scenario for the members of Santa Cruz. Over in the dual lane, however, a lot of aggression coming out. Ganesha and Hou-Yi really trying to apply the pressure, and we're seeing a little bit of a rotation coming out from Riverside as Toth started to make his way over with the Thor, and there's the silence coming out from Ganesha, but it looks like he's going to be able to get out into a safe position. Poseidon has the Whirlpool Kraken available, not going to elect to use it, but he is able to at least dissuade the members of Riverside from aggressing any further. What could have been potentially a kill going over to Riverside turned quickly into a retreat as Poseidon was lurking around in the waters. Penny, I believe I heard you say you might be, never mind. That actually is going to be a kill going again over into the solo lane side, this time being awarded over to the Circuit. And now in the middle lane, Poseidon finding one of his own, bursting the Kraken. Ganesha popping the slow with the ultimate. Toth in a dangerous position, doesn't have any way to get out. Silence, stuck in a whirlpool. That's going to be a double kill going over to Poseidon as Hou-Yi picks up one over in the dual lane as well. Santa Cruz looking Santa smooth. This first match of AVGL Fall Championship. Now, we're actually going to go ahead and take a second to get Penny Imba back into this, because I don't want to ride this very hyperactive train of action alone. It's too exciting. So we're going to go ahead and pause. As you probably can tell, this goal fear is going to go down. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I've got my partner in crime with me, Penny Imba, aka Penny, aka the wise sensei of Smite. And I got to ask you just off the bat, if you saw just a scoreline, if you saw just this gold number, and if you just saw the time frame, what would be your thoughts of Riverside?
I would say right now Riverside would be having a little bit of problems because their team comp actually with the Thoth and the Rama, their main damage dealers are very, very late game oriented, and falling behind is something they really can't afford to do. So they're going to need to be farming Big Kraken from Liras over by the mid Harpies to pick up a 7th kill for UC Santa Cruz. But yeah, that 7th kill, it definitely isn't going to be helping because they need to get their items online. They need to get those levels online on that Rama and Thoth to deal the damage as their team's primary damage dealers to really do what they want to do. Marcio going to jump over the right side looking for Pra with the taunt, but just outranged. Taunt as well going onto Rai has best from the middle from Kalik, but no major follow-up there either.
You know, I kind of want to point out that Thor, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were a mid-main player when you did a lot of competitive or when you did a lot of ranked games, but playing in the jungle as Thor, have you ever had to do that from behind? For me, it has always been a nightmare. It's always been something I never wanted to experience.
Yeah, Thor from behind, especially when he has a lot of high base damage, especially on his hammer. So levels are where Thor really, really gets his damage advantage. And being a level behind that Circuit is going to make it really difficult for him to pump out that damage. But luckily, with that global ult and that wall, he does have a lot of utility that he can still provide to his team. So he's likely going to make that transition into a utility semi-tank a little earlier than you would normally see a Thor. He had an ult on right lane just a second ago, but not too much follow-up from there. He's trying to get the game going. Thor really a character that sets the pace of the game.
Meanwhile, but setting the pace of the game, there it is. That's going to be a kill going over the dual lane, turning their attention back over to the Athena, who desperately tried to get in there to help out his good guy, AD carry. Unfortunately, not going to be enough. Toth making his way over here as well. Hoyi, no mana. I don't necessarily think that the members of Santa Cruz can jump in on this, but Santa Cruz is just on a tear.
Absolutely, and Poseidon from ahead, really scary. Hoyi from ahead, really scary. Taunt on Araya's best. Gonna miss the dash, but Savisor gonna miss those hieroglyphic assaults, so not enough damage. Big Kraken from Liras, and that's gonna be a kill onto Mango Swag. 9 on the board for UC Santa Cruz. Liras running this game really on this Poseidon.
And, you know, the big question for me, at least right now, is that I want to go back to the relic choicing of this Thor. Do you always go for the Sanctuary when you're up against a Thor? Or, a Poseidon?
You almost always want to go Sanctuary unless there's a large amount of CC. Savisor actually looking for the ult onto Liras, very low, just outranged, but Prowl going to be using that Mink to close the distance. Liras out of mana, going to be forced to beads. I think he could have continued and dove that tower, but he chose not to. Beads still going to be used as Raiha's best makes the rotation. Marcio in a rough spot, Stunning looking for the auto attacks, not going to find it. Buttermy Matthew looking aggressive onto this Athena, going to find the knockup. One more auto attack is going to be it. Enough to find the kill, but Mango Swag coming in with the Thor ult. Great utility there to peel for his support. Rama in the air now looking to pick up the kill onto Buttermy Matthew, and he finds it.
Stunning, taking the kill onto Butterfly Matthew, putting the first point on the board for Riverside. However, big bad guy Uki making his way into a 4v1, looking like he could have at least gotten one kill, but now it's looking like he's actually going to go down here to a squad of Riverside surrounding him. He's using the horrific Imble, but that's just way too much CC. Another kill going over to Riverside at what looked to be over-aggression from Santa Cruz.
Absolutely, that's a little bit too deep for Santa Cruz. They are way ahead, but you know it's early in the game. You still don't have those large HP pools. You still don't have those defense items, and so you can be punished quite easily. Kraken going to come out from Liras onto Savisor, but luckily Aegis was enough to keep him alive. But it looks like a speed buff invade now coming out from Santa Cruz, wanting to keep this pressure up.
They really are trying to, in my opinion, overly aggress, looking for opportunities that might not actually be there. Just now we saw Poseidon and Ganesh use an ultimate for one relic on the enemy side of Riverside, and not even on a character who's necessarily been performing well. Toth, sitting at 0-1-1, has been doing his best to try and farm, but he's still a long ways away from being able to do anything. Might have been overzealous, and now you're starting to see Riverside take peeks at attempts to get back into this game.
Absolutely, they're taking the opportunities they can, and with their team comp and the current gold and level advantage that Santa Cruz has, I think that Riverside needs to be looking for Santa Cruz to make mistakes so they can capitalize on their mistakes rather than try to find opportunities and kind of force the issue, as F. Dot would say. But Prowow gonna be in a little bit of trouble. The tether is gonna be good. Taunt from Kialik, good enough to peel for a second. Savisaur coming in as well with some damage to help heal out. It's a lot of damage coming out from that Osiris.
That was one sickle, just chunked that top. Oh my goodness! And that's the scary part about Osiris. He's sitting now 1-1-1, but his farm has been absolutely phenomenal. He's got the Gladiator Shield. I imagine at this point, as a solo laner, do you really go for a much more aggressive build? Do you go ahead and take advantage of the fact that you're naturally scaling much better and maybe pick up a item that you would have saved for late stage of the game as a damage item and do it earlier?
I think not necessarily an item you would save for late stage, as Liras picks up another kill. Kraken on cooldown. Buttermy Matthew gonna pick up a kill as well. Yalek dashing away, not wanting to be the third victim in this fight. Liras just... Krakens have been insane this game. He has the Gem of Isolation online 10 minutes in. That's a lot of control. He's gonna look for the initiate on a Stunning. Actually, no, Stunning looking to initiate on a Liras, but Buttermy Matthew on that Hoyi. Gonna come in, gonna find the stun onto Rama. Rama now forced to back off. Gonna be forced to ult as well. Athena dash gonna be blocked by Omarcio. Huge play coming out from the Surcat player from Santa Cruz.
And Santa Cruz is just surrounding this poor Rama. He's going to go down. Stunning had nowhere to go, and Buttermy Matthew finding himself a kill on that one. Now, Poseidon is doing a fantastic job. He's getting these Krakens that you dream of. He's getting the Krakens that people usually hold out on using Krakens for. And I respect the fact that he's actually able to pull them off. I really like the itemization from this well. Gem of Isolation, some might feel is not exactly the best second item to get because you can get more power out of cheaper items like, say, a Talon, or maybe even go all out if you're this far ahead and get a Book of Toss. But at the end of the day, getting a little bit of extra health and getting that CC to topple with the Whirlpool, I mean, that's got to be worth something, right?
Absolutely, and in a coordinated team environment, especially, a little bit of utility can be worth more than a little bit of damage because you have all of your teams committing to the same target at the same time. So that slow, say you're missing 10 damage or take from the Whirlpool, that's fine because that slow is going to allow your Ganesha to get damage off. That slow is going to allow your Surcat to get the damage off. As Mango Swag on the Thor, it looks to ult onto Uki in the right lane, but it's going to be immune with the Lord of the Afterlife as he looks to go in. Liras picks up a kill in the mid lane in the meanwhile with a raw Kraken. Omarcio picking up Prowow as well. That's 2 kills, one in the mid, one in the right side of the map for Santa Cruz, just keeping the pressure up. This game, they want to run this game. They don't want to let up the pressure one bit at all. They want UC Riverside to be as uncomfortable as possible this entire game, and they're doing a really good job of doing so as they invade the speed buff successfully without a hint of resistance.
You want to know why you get some high-quality headphones? That's why you get some high-quality headphones. Really picking up on the cue, which is very loud. You can hear it. Thor going up into the air. You know when it's happening. And as soon as you hear that high-pitched noise of him diving, that's when you go ahead and get your CC immunity. Meanwhile, over in the soul lane, they're going to go ahead and try and pick up Thor. But unfortunately for Ganesha, not able to do so. However, Todd able to punish Poseidon for sticking around just a little bit too long, and not only punish the Poseidon, but the entirety of Santa Cruz as they do pick up the Fire Giant portal.
Absolutely. Buttermy Matthew taking the 2v1 in the duo lane and coming out with a kill and full health. Now looking for some damage on the Athena. Buttermy Matthew 6-1-1 on this. Don't want the enemy ADC to be 6-1 12 minutes into the game because he's just going to scale out of control. And I'm expecting this Hoyi to do big things later in the game. He's doing big things right now, taking the tier 1 tower down at 1240. That's going to be the first major first tower at least of this game. And that's going to open up a lot of map pressure on the duo side, on the Gold Fury side, more importantly, for UC Santa Cruz.
And it's also going to give a little bit of leeway for them to try and put some pressure on the Fire Giant, or maybe even try and put some pressure on the other lanes, because while they have Rama just trying to catch up, maybe even do some ticks onto the enemy tower, they've got all the flexibility in the world to just rotate and do whatever they want with this Hoyi. And the fact that he doesn't even have a kin size yet, which I imagine he's going to go for next, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but he doesn't have that yet. That's a whole load of damage that we're not even seeing just yet.
Yeah, and that Whirlpool doing work, forcing beads out, I believe, from the Thoth. Yes, if Thoth beads are on cooldown, forced to beads just so he can use his dash out of that Whirlpool because he was stuck in place thanks to that Gem of Isolation. Buttermy Matthew and the rest of his squad. Huge Kraken from Liras. Gonna find 2 members. Mango Swag, Kialik now very low. Mango Swag forced to teleport out with the hammer. Kialik running. Savisaur gonna be victim of the last breath from Surcat. No kills, actually. I'm very surprised. That was a massive Kraken coming out from Liras.
Great damage stat booster, but unfortunately not exactly a game ender. They got to go ahead and capitalize on that. Unfortunately, I think this was a bit of miscommunication. Santa Cruz, Poseidon was like, man, I do damage. And the rest of his team wasn't even aware that he was about to use his ult combination. Now you're looking at Riverside facing up, wanting to try and punish any kind of over-aggression from Santa Cruz if they dive this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Osiris on the right side is probably going to take tier 1 on the solo. And there it is. Thor comes down. He's doing a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Butter My Matthew able to already take out Athena. Rama finding the kill onto the ultless Poseidon. And now it's just a matter of, boy, Yi, can they get off the damage? In fact, he's taking way too much damage. No mana left on either members of Santa Cruz who are remaining in the middle lane. They're going to have to back off. Osiris was able to take the tower over the right side. And Ganesha is more than likely going to go down here if Rama can get one more auto. Nope, that is going to go over to Savisaur, the better ADC of the team. And Thor finding Butter My Matthew as well in the back end.
Really, really rough for Santa Cruz. They look to take the tier 1 tower, but a really good counter engage, especially from that Thor. Mango Swag, recognizing the Kraken was down, this is their time to fight if there ever was one. So Mango Swag on that Thor goes up, finds a huge double ult. Meanwhile, Uki actually finds a kill on a Prow, just looking to dive, I think, but got punished under that tower. But that was a really, really big team fight. You see the gold gap, it was about 5,000 10 minutes ago, I would say, and now it's 6,000. So they're doing a good job of trying to stabilize that gold difference. They don't want that to grow out of control, and 1,000 gold in 10 minutes isn't the worst thing in the world, especially when you have a late game team comp like I mentioned before with that Thoth, with that Rama. You're just trying to get there. You're trying to get the items on the Rama. Most likely going to be going crit, looking for those big crits. You want this Thoth to be pumping out that crazy damage that Thoth is known for. So they're doing a good job of holding on to the game and not letting it spiral out of control as Santa Cruz tries to keep the gas pedal down, but punished for going a little too fast there on that mid tower.
And that's the thing. You mentioned Toth. They want to get him up to a strong point in this game. He's really been the main factor. 3-2. Oh, and hold on a second here. Poseidon coming out with the Whirlpool. They've got a lot of ults out invested into Athena, and I'm glad they were able to get it because they sure weren't trying to let it go. 3 ultimates used just to pick up this 4 player on the side of Riverside. Santa Cruz, they might be using their investments in the wrong locations. Athena's death timer already down to 10 seconds. As hold on a second, Mango Swag going down over on the right side of the map. 2 of the frontliners of Santa Cruz not caring they don't have any damage dealers near them. They are the damage. Poseidon, however, going down the middle lane. They're going to go ahead and try and surround this angry chicken bird and get revenge on their mid laner. They're going to get the killing spree on the Uki, Erling Shin, the only person left to defend this middle tier 1 tower. And the rest of the members of Santa Cruz turn their attention over potentially to the Gold Fury, or Erling Shin got into a bad spot. He's going to be taken down as well.
Absolutely. Used his Ming form a little too early there. Had no escape once he got taunted there. There's going to be the Suns from Hoi knocked up as well. Kialik on the Athena in a little bit of trouble. In a lot of trouble as 4 members of Santa Cruz take down the Athena in those Suns. And now it looks like Santa Cruz is going to be looking to make a rotation to the Gold Fury, pick up that objective, and increase their gold lead as much as possible.
Santa Cruz is sometimes looking like a sharp, well-tuned machine, but sometimes looking like a very immature team. It's kind of hard to read what they're going to do next, but Riverside still has the potential to get in here. I mean, what steps do they need to take initially? Obviously, if they got the Toth in a decent spot, he's got the Book of Toth halfway finished, he's got the Spirit of Desolation, so what else do they need to get back into this one, at least in a commanding position rather than a defensive one?
I think looking at the 3 frontliners, if you count Thor as a frontliner, on the side of Riverside, they have a huge amount of crowd control. They have 2 taunts, 1 from Erling Shen, 1 from Athena, and 2 stuns coming out from the Thor. And they have the follow-up with the Thoth ult. So I think what they need to look for is they need to be spamming their CC as much as possible to get those purification beads on cooldown. And then once they find the purification beads on cooldown, you just need that one opportunity to get a big taunt or a big stun into a Thoth ult. But there's a big Poseidon ult coming out instead from Liras.
And I really like this. Toth really punishing out the Poseidon. He did a nice backstep and lands the Divine Judgment. That's going to be a big pickup for Riverside, going ahead and knocking off the big threat on the enemy side of the team. Santa Cruz not having that Poseidon could be a big factor leading up with this Fire Giant, as Rama pushing down the left side of the map. They really want to pick up this Toth. They know he's the big damage dealer. They need to get him, but Thor coming up into the air, trying to save him. A little too late. That's going to be a big loss for the members of Riverside, and now it's a complete tear as Santa Cruz doesn't care what the members of Riverside can do.
Absolutely. Good plays, I think, from Riverside. Big Thor ult. Thoth finding that pickup onto the Poseidon, but they're just so far behind at that point. The Thor can't turn that Thor ult into damage. He finds 2 stuns, but then, you know, what comes off after that? Not much. The Thoth is dead. The Ram is so far behind, he can't put damage in. The Thor himself really far behind, doesn't have those levels to put his damage in. And there's just really no follow-up from this far behind. It's really tough. They need to protect this Thoth as much as possible because he is their main damage dealer, and it's getting pretty close to him being their only damage dealer, as Rama is just falling very far behind, and the game goes a little bit later. Thor kind of changing into that semi-tank hybrid CC machine that he's known for in the late game. So they really need to protect this Thoth, I think, is the main thing.
And going back to that protecting the Thoth mindset that you're mentioning, I think that this is coming down to itemization. Riverside, Thor, you look at his build, doesn't seem to care too much for survival, just more or less wants to try and do damage. And speaking of damage, you're seeing a little bit of that impact here as Thor already down to the last 4th of his health, regenerating some of that up. I believe he used a green pot, but he's just not surviving any of this. I mean, maybe a spirit's robe, something to keep him alive longer, but I don't know if a Jotun's Wrath and a Heartseeker was what he needed to build at this stage of the game.
So much damage coming out from this Hou-Yi. Omarcio64 finding the taunt onto Athena, and in just the short duration of a Serket taunt, this Hou-Yi is able to blow up this support, and that's not something that you want happening, right? You want your support to be the tanky person on your team, and if he's getting blown up, there's a huge problem. Butter My Matthew going to be pulling the Fire Giant for Santa Cruz off the back of that kill. Omarcio going to be finding the Blink taunt on a Mako Swag, beads down, going to find the last wish. Rama now in the air. Can he find the snipes? Omarcio picks up the kill with the last breath. Snipes not going to connect. Omarcio able to get out of there. Prowl, meanwhile, going to be diving in on that Erlang Shen. Big Kraken going to be able to pick up the kill on the Prowl. Kyalik on the Athena now running away as Uki dives in the backline, looking to kill this Rama. Is he able to find it? He's real close. This is
should be able to get this one.
Yeah. This is the sickle, but finds it in the end. Getting really low, though. Fire Giant is going to fall for Santa Cruz. Uki is able to get out of there as well, so big win there for Santa Cruz.
Well, and the beauty of it is that if you're a solo laner, you're ahead, and on top of that, there's no frontliners around you. You do your job to the best of your ability. And really, all a solo laner is a glorified ADC/mage bully. And he had both Toth and Rama, he had both Toth and Rama just on the back trying to deal with him as best as they possibly could. And unfortunately, weren't able to do so, losing the Rama. And on top of that, losing the Fire Giant. I think that Osiris has really set the pace for Santa Cruz, starting with that first blood at the very beginning stages of the game.
Absolutely, and he's that big, meaty front line that you want your solo laner to be. All 3 members of UC Riverside that are looking to be the tanky front line have died 7 times, and there's only 2 kills between the 3 of them, and they're both on the Thor, who's really far behind himself. So there's really nobody on Riverside to be soaking up this damage that this team from Santa Cruz, who's so far ahead, is able to put out. This Hou-Yi just does so much. This Serket even is blowing up tanks with the insane amount of penetration she has. It's just the tanks on Riverside are too far behind. Big dive coming out on the left side. Butter My Matthew gonna find the last auto attack to pick up Thor. Now they're going to look to take down this tier 2 tower with that Fire Giant belt around their waists.
Yeah, this is the last tower available for Riverside. Next up, Phoenixes. No big objectives available on the map for a couple of seconds. Gold Fury is spawning soon. Now they're going to start looking for picks. We're in the stage where they're going to look for sneaky opportunities to catch someone out of position and then use that advantage to go ahead and try and pick up a Phoenix while nobody's paying attention. And they might already have that opportunity coming soon. Toth, a little bit out of position. He is, as we've mentioned several times, the only damage dealer. They need to get him over there.
Absolutely, he's off to the side looking to find damage, but he's not paying attention. He looks for the stun. Gonna miss. Taunt coming out. Now 3 members of Santa Cruz diving the backline. 1 peeling out, 2 in the backline. Liras and Omarcio, 2 carries looking for the kill onto Prowl, and they find the Erlang Shen. Rama looking for the snipes. Not going to be able to clean up Omarcio. Thor is in the air, though. Is he able to do it, or is this Serket out of range? It looks like he's out of range. Mango looking to go in. Gonna get silenced off of the teleport. Huge plays coming out for this Ganesha, and he's going to die as a result as Santa Cruz re-engages, stunning very low, very close to the Titan, but very dead. And it looks like this game is getting pretty close to over. They may be able to commit to this Titan here, but it looks like they're looking for damage instead. Maybe a little greedy. I think they should probably retreat. They're really beefy, so they're able to stay alive for a long period of time here, but
they're trying to knock out this Toth to have an easier chance of winning, but at this point, Whoo, if that had hit. At this point, it's just way too much to ask for. All members of Santa Cruz backing off. And, I kind of want to go back to the idea that if Toth is the only damage dealer, you got to be in the right position at the right time. When they dove that Phoenix, he needed to be there. Being in the mid lane, kind of a big mistake. I mean, kind of a big wasted opportunity of punishing a Phoenix dive that may have been too preemptive for the members of Santa Cruz. But now they're turning their attention over the Gold Fury, not really for the purpose of getting more gold as much as it is denying a gold opportunity for the members of Riverside. I'm not sure what Riverside can do at this point.
I don't know. Riverside really needs that gold. They're over 20,000 gold behind in only 25 minutes now. All the towers gone. All the towers up for Santa Cruz. Even a Phoenix gone. I think Santa Cruz has gotten every gold fury of this game. I'm pretty sure they've gotten all the portals and they've gotten the only fire giant. It's just objectives out the wazoo for Santa Cruz, and that puts them so far ahead. It's going to be really tough for Riverside to get back in this game. I really am not sure they're going to be able to do it. If I was Riverside right now, I would be taking this time to think about what went wrong and really apply what they learned from this game to the next game, because this game is going to be real tough for them to win. But they made a lot of mistakes that they can learn from going into game 2. Uki going to be solo frontlining against 3 members of Riverside, and they're scared of him. This is a big Osiris. Portal going to fall as well. Santa Cruz takes that large map objective and then pushes in the right side, looking for a pick most likely.
Oh, yeah. And the awkward part about this is that you still have a Phoenix down on the left side of the map. It's not something you can just let fire creeps go into. Luckily, they were able to push up the lane, so it's going to take a little bit of time for fire maidens to get in there. But Ganesha popping the ultimate, Toth a little bit out of position as a Kraken hits 4 people. It is absolutely decimating the members of Riverside. There's no way they're going to come back into this fight, but they're desperately trying to escape, maybe get their health back, maybe come back into it. But Divine Uki Osiris is doing work onto this Toth. Rama, the only man standing left on the Riverside, he's going to be forced to roll out and try to get back into the well, taking a lot of damage. Missing the stun is going to be Hou Yi, but it doesn't matter. 2 auto attacks going to do the job. Phoenix in the middle lane going down, and not only that, the Titan as well. That's Riverside losing the first match, and Santa Cruz taking it quite dominantly in the first one.
Absolutely. Big game coming out of Santa Cruz, showing they're here to play, showing they are not to be taken lightly, and showing that if you don't put up a fight, they will roll over you. They will not make mistakes. They will not let you get back into this game. They just got so far ahead and they abused their lead. I mean, you look at Osiris's build. He had a Frostbound Hammer, which is something you pick up when you're ahead on Osiris, sure. But he also had a Deathbringer. So, really
he had a Deathbringer? Wait, what?
He had a Deathbringer, really abusing that lead, and that's how he was able to run people down, I think, and put out that crazy amount of damage he did, really just soloing their backline with not much they could do about it.
I mean, but even still, even with the Deathbringer, he still, boasted a really strong 21K. That's nothing to scoff at. Hou Yi, 25K. Poseidon, surprisingly, I thought this was going to be a bigger number, 22K. But let's talk about on the other side. Riverside definitely has an all-star player with Savvy Sword. 21,000, reaching close to that 22,000. He almost matched, if not beat Poseidon, considering that he was his own peel. He was his own damage. He was his own setup. I have to give a big shout out to Savvy Sword there, fighting through what looked like a very desperate situation.
Yeah, we might have called him out for not being at the Phoenix defense when he needed to be, and sure, that was a mistake, but that doesn't mean he didn't play well for the rest of the game. He went 5-5. The rest of his team, you look at their stat lines, had a rough game. 0-9, 0-9, 2-7, 2-10. Savvy Sword picking up 5 kills, more kills than the rest of his team combined, doing almost as much damage as both of the other carries combined. He put out a lot of damage this game. He did a good amount of work, and I think that if he had a team that could kind of rally around him a little stronger, he could really prove to be a star in AVGL coming into the next season, perhaps, or even as the rest of his team improves during this season. I think we have a good mid player that has a lot of potential here.
Well, before we get set up for the next match, I got to ask this question, because if this is not a best of one league, we do some double matches here. So we're going to have another match between Santa Cruz and Riverside. What does Riverside need to do to have a much better look, if not defeat Santa Cruz, who looked very powerful this game?
I think a lot of amateur teams thrive on early game team comps and early game pressure, and that's what Santa Cruz drafted here. They found the Circuit for the early taunts. They found Poseidon for the early Krakens. Hou Yi, definitely not a sleeper early game as well. So what I think Riverside needs to do is draft a comp that can compete with them early. I think they might need to stray away from the Thoth a little bit. Thoth definitely really strong in the right hands, but I think they need something a little bit more early game to help contest the pressure that was coming out from Santa Cruz. They were putting out a lot of pressure onto the jungle buffs. They were finding these early gold furies. They were controlling the tempo of the game, and they were controlling the map with their picks. Osiris, another really strong early game. Ganesha as well. Everybody on Santa Cruz, a strong early game pick. And too much late game, I think, from Riverside. So I think their draft has a little bit of work to do. They need to ward a bit more so they can control the map as much as possible, and they need to match the pressure that Santa Cruz was putting out.
Well, there it is. You have it from Penny, the sensei, the god of Smite competitive. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for the next match. Santa Cruz going up against Riverside once more, potentially, depending on if Riverside can go ahead and topple these bowstring champions that we just watched. And just remember, watch more of this and you get more points for potentially winning a gym giveaway at the end of the stream. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, AVGL Summer. Welcome back, AVGL Summer League for collegiate players. This is game number 2, Santa Cruz versus Riverside. And game number 1 didn't go very well for the members of Santa Cruz, or excuse me, the members of Riverside. Santa Cruz was able to dominantly take the performance with a Poseidon leading the charge. And this time around, we're going to see if Riverside can do something different.
And something different they are doing, they're going to be picking up the Bastet and the Terra off of the back of the first pick, Scotty. Sobek Wheelik's going to be drafted here as well for the members of Riverside. Looking for that combo. Sobek Wheelik's definitely something that can punish low mobility teams. You hit that knock up right into the Wheelik stall, it can be a free pick early game. Really strong. And I think that's something they need, is that early game aggression. Like we were talking about before, they need to bring it early game. They can't just wait until late game because they know Santa Cruz is going to pressure them, and they likely aren't going to win early game if they let the game go the same way they did game 1. So I like this draft coming out from Riverside.
Riverside,
well.
Yeah. A lot of S going on here, but Santa Cruz definitely had a strong performance, and I'm interested to see how they handle using this hell in the middle lane, because it's not necessarily the same level of burst power that we saw in the Poseidon last game. It was a very strong performance from the Poseidon, and I don't know necessarily if it's because of positioning or he's just a natural psychic when it comes to when do I use the Kraken? What is the perfect positioning? But, do you think this hell is going to see the same level of performance out of this player?
Hell really, really strong right now. I think that he's going to have a strong performance on this Hell. Just brings a lot of damage and a lot of healing. Sure, it's not the crazy burst that a Kraken can provide, but this Hell, if you don't take her down, she'll win the team fight single-handedly, pumping out just large numbers, huge damage and huge healing coming out from this character. So it's going to be up to the Sobek Wheelix to find the pressure that they need to onto this Hell in this team fights and take them out. But the Bastet into Scotty is actually very, very interesting. You don't see a lot of Bastet play, but I think she's a really strong character in finding these backline targets that need to be taken down, like this Scotty. This Scotty, just a cannon, just pumps out so much damage. First pick, first ban in most competitive games. Really a threat that this Bastet might be able to deal with pretty well.
And that's another interesting point, is that they allowed for Riverside to go ahead and pick up Scotty, knowing that she's a very strong character. So maybe this Bastet pick is extremely catered to isolating out Scotty. You take a look at the bans. The first set of bans, we had Ganesha, I believe Hoyi was there as well, and then Toth as well as the Vulcan, if I'm looking at this correctly, or maybe it was the Toth RDO. It gets a little weird when it comes to bans in the second round. They kind of shifted around. But point is that it seems like they wanted to go ahead and say, all right, you want Scotty? Take it. We have a strategy for that, and you all aren't expecting it because, like you mentioned, Bastet, not a very popular pick.
Yeah, and banning that Thoth away, like you said, really, really good idea. Bastet thrives on sticking on low mobility characters. Thoth, a very high mobility character, and it looks like they may be forced. Riverside may be forced into picking this Raw because that Thoth was banned out. And they lock it in. A very immobile god that Bastet is going to thrive on being able to dive in the backline.
Now, there is other characters that are mobile in the mage role that could be used. Say, for example, Agni is a very good one. Giannis, in his own way, is very mobile. But why do you think that they went for the Raw pick here? I mean, you mentioned it already. Immobile. High burst, but immobile. High sustain, but immobile. It kind of lends back to the same idea of why would you put yourself in the position to deal with a Bastet cat as just I'm going to go ahead and get a little faster.
First off, raw heal just gives you a lot more effective HP. While the cats and the dots from the Bastet are taking on you, you also have the heal taking on you. So if you just fight in the heal, you have a lot more effective HP than your standard mage. But they also need something to deal with this Hell's healing, right? So you have two options when you play against a Hell. You can either go for very, very strong counter healing, anti-healing, picking up Divine Ruins, Brawler's Beat Sticks, Pestilences, and picking gods with built-in anti-healing, like they did with the Sobek. Or you can also go for a strong counter-sustain comp. And I think that's what they were looking for with this Raw. Because if they just look for poke wars against a Hell, the Hell's just going to heal it up. They're going to lose every single poke war. With this Raw, they're going to be able to heal up as well. So the counter-healing and the counter-healing and the anti-healing coming out from the Sobek. Really, really good picks to deal with this Hell, I think.
Well, it's going to come down to Riverside versus Santa Cruz. This is a best of 3, as mentioned earlier. Riverside looking to try and stay in the series. Santa Cruz looking to close it out. And we're going to go ahead and get loaded into the game. And, I really feel like it's going to come down to a matter of, can they bully out hell early? Can they get this Mango swag just going on with the Wheelix and try and pick on this hell, or can they not? We're going to go load into the game and see exactly what happens. And I'm assuming you're loaded in.
Yep, I have the Spectre client open. I'm going to go ahead and sync up right now.
Okay, just making sure. So I loaded in. I'll go ahead and introduce the members of Riverside in case you didn't get to see the first matchup. Riverside in the blue jerseys, Mango Swag playing the Wheelix in the jungle role, Prow Wow in the solo role as Hercules, Savvy Sore in the middle lane as Ra, Kialik in the support role as Sobek, and Stunning in the AD carry role as the Scotty.
Yep, and for Santa Cruz, we have Bastet in the jungle on that, Omarcio in the jungle on that Bastet, Lyris playing that mid lane hell, Buttermy Matthew and Rai has best on the Terra Chiron dual lane, a lot of pressure coming out from that dual lane, and Uki, huge performance on the Osiris last game, gonna see if he's able to match it on the chalk. My Spectre client's actually bugged again, unfortunately, so I'm gonna go ahead and restart my client as fast as I can. Nice and early this time.
Fine. We'll go ahead and get set up. Just let me know when you get back in, and we'll go ahead and set back up. We don't have to necessarily slow down this game performance, but off the bat, Santa Cruz doing exactly what we saw last time around. Hold on, they're actually going for a very sneaky play of Hell and Bastet chilling out in the jungle, seeing if they can catch a Wheelix out of position here. Nice cat over onto the Hell, getting a little bit of damage off, and so far it's the same story of what we saw last time around. The members of Riverside not able to get anything going per se, and the members of Santa Cruz just going on a tear. Now the question becomes, what is Riverside going to try and do differently? Over on the dual lane, however, a lot of aggression coming out. Scotty dangerously low. There's Chiron going aggressive with a dash, and the shell is popped, but I don't think it's going to matter. Auto attack, one more, it's going to secure it. There it is, Buttermy Matthew picking up first blood onto Stunning. The AD carry of Nightmares, Chiron getting a lead. Not what the members of Riverside want to experience. Meanwhile, speed buff is going to be completed by Bastet over on the right side of the map. It's now Santa Cruz's game to control if Bastet can get level 5. Operating similar to Hunbots and Thor, once you get level 5, it's almost a guaranteed kill. There's 2 members over on the right side of the map ganging up against this Chalk. Can Bastet come in and help him out? Looks like they are more than prepared to go on a 2v2 matchup as Hercules forced to use the heal already. Bastet just going to do a little poke and bounce back. And now everybody's back to a little bit of a neutralized point. Taking a look at the itemization for just a moment. Everybody going pretty standard. You see that the Scotty went for the Bluestone Pendant into Bumbus Mask. Died and picked up tier 1 boots, so not trying to rush into anything like a Devourer's Gauntlet or a Transcendence, just trying to get the movement speed first, recognizes the difficulty of being an immobile god, and just wants to compensate for that. Meanwhile, we see a big rotation coming out over onto the right side of the map. The middle laner as well as the jungler are here to try and get something done, and there's that effective HP that Penny Imba was talking about earlier, keeping a Wheelix nice and healthy, and Bastet and Chalk are in such a bad spot here. Santa Cruz finding nothing out of that as Riverside was able to pick up a kill here, and giving it over to the Wheelix is huge. Such a strong early game jungler.
Absolutely. And sorry to interrupt you. What time are you at right now?
2:45, 6. Production, could you get a quick pause here just to go ahead and let Penny Imba?
We're good. We're good.
You got it?
I think we're good, actually. Yep, absolutely. So 2-1 in favor of Riverside, actually, pulling ahead early. Yep.
You might be a little ahead of me. 2-1, We're actually at 1-1. So just going back over to around the 3 minutes and 10-second marker, you should be good. I'm assuming that. Just let me know what you get to and if you think you're right. But Scotty boxing it out with Chiron, level 5 versus level 4. Still can't ult trade out, but still doing quite a bit of damage. Such a powerful character is Scotty, using the dogs to just kind of poke out a little bit, and just keep giving it back to the Chiron player. Terra lurking in the winds to try and get the Scotty, and there's a lot of CC coming out. That's the ultimate. Scotty does have hers available. Can it save her is the question. Using it to try and stun them out, maybe get a little bit of time, and it doesn't look like it's going to matter. Chiron actually in a lot of trouble. Osiris comes in to save the day, and that is going to be a complete turnaround. There's the 2-1 that Penny was talking about, and now Terra on the run. She's going to get away safely, and Cash might be the response that was necessary to get the members of Santa Cruz back into this one. And it appears that a disengaged, no kills continued after that one. Oh my goodness. That was so close for the members of Santa Cruz. I would be so upset giving up that kill. And on top of that, oh, Savisaur's a beast! Using anybody he wants to go ahead and pick up these kills. Oh, it doesn't matter what bird you give him. He's an angry chicken.
Looks like I synced up at just the right time because I saw that snipe. That was insane. Lined up perfectly. And Savisaur picks up that kill 1-0-1 on that Raw. A little bit ahead of this Hell now, who's 0-1-0.
Oh,
so
you know what I'm noticing?
You want from your healer.
You know what I'm noticing? Everyone who is like a true blue Raw player, the people who love Raw, for some reason love Toth too, and then that's it. That's the list. That is their entire god pool. And it's okay, because if they don't let you get Toth, you always have the fallback of Raw. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. But this is definitely what we wanted to see out of Riverside. This is what we wanted. We wanted them to go ahead and give their mid laner a lot more breathing room. The jungler has now stepped up tremendously in his comparison of the Thor game. I think that Riverside has a strong chance here.
Absolutely. Bastet going to jump in, looking for a little bit of aggression. I think if Terra had looked for the root there, I'm not sure if it was down or not, they might have been able to all lane either Mango Swag or Savisaur, but not
dual lane. There it is, the dual lane. Scotty going to be taken out by Butter My Matthew, and now they're trying to pick up the Chiron in response on the side of Santa Cruz, but unfortunately not, or excuse me, they're not able to get the Sobek. Actually, there it is. Marcio able to pick that one up. So Santa Cruz now picking up 2 kills for themselves. That's a very good response by them after what looked like a completely Riverside favored early game.
Absolutely. Sobek almost picking off that kill, but popping the Lurking in the Waters too early. A little bit of a mechanical misplay there. He could have traded the ADCs out and made it an even trade, but instead pops that Lurking in the Waters too early. This Chiron gets out, and Sobek gets picked up in return. So definitely a misplay coming out from Sobek. Tying up the game 3-3, but a 1.2 thousand gold lead actually in favor of Santa Cruz, showing that they have the map control and they're farming these neutral camps, the mid camps, the oracles, and the fire elementals as well, a little bit more strongly than Riverside is able to do.
Big grouping over on the right side of the map here as we have 3 members of Santa Cruz looking at this Hercules. They might invest, they might not, but Awilix is still around, so that's a bit of a risky play. And just look at that damage that you're seeing out of... Oh, nice hop over. But the damage coming out from Bastet is just terrifying right now. I don't necessarily know if it's the fact that Hercules is a little bit behind, or just in general, Bastet is a very strong character innately. The cat scratch passive is definitely something to consider, but this has been such a back and forth game, momentum going both ways. Jungler's having a big part. There's the ultimate coming out from Shock as Cats follow up, and that's going to be a big investment to get this Hercules, trusting that the Cats will clean up the kill. They were able to find it. Santa Cruz rewarded for their tower dive, and I'm not sure what the Awilix ultimate was used for there. However, Ra has come in to ensure that she is able to walk away safely.
Yeah, but Bastet going to jump in looking for the Raw as well. Heal going to come out, forcing Bastet to jump away. Good pickups for Santa Cruz, looking to pull themselves in the lead. Even though they had that rough early game, they're now about 2,000, 1,500 gold up in the lead, which is something you want when you have this Hell Terra combo. You got that healing, you got that strong late game because of the healing and the sustain. Bastet as well, finding those kills, has a level lead over this Awilix, and the level lead is just going to increase her base damage so much, and that's what makes Bastet so potent in the early game, is that base damage. That's why she's hitting so hard, like you were saying. Those numbers are just so high as you level up. Her 2 now going to be maxed out as she hits level 9, so going to be doing a lot of damage with that scratch.
So check this out. Forced into the mark of the Vanguard just from all the pressure that he's receiving. Hercules having to take an extremely cheap and defensive route against his counterpart, Chalk, who is going up for the Gladiator shield. Meanwhile, over in the dual lane, Scotty looking at a bit of an awkward spot here, forced into the ultimate. Chiron making his way over. Sobek trying to desperately dissuade the members of Santa Cruz, and it is going to be enough to get Terra off of the mark, but Butter My Matthews not dissuaded in the slightest.
Big snipes coming out from Butter My Matthews. Santa Cruz matching the snipes coming out from Riverside. Really, really good job from the Chiron there to pick up that kill. Now 3-1 against an 0-3 Scotty. This is a matchup that should theoretically be winning a Scotty. Such a lane bully, but Butter My Matthew doing a really good job of keeping this lane in his favor, which isn't something you'd expect. Marcio now very, very low. Savisaur going to be dove behind the tier 2 boulder, going to come out and pick up Bastet. Savisaur very, very low. Terra stun going to connect, but not going to kill. But it looks like Uki may want this kill as he wraps around the front of this tower. Savisaur going to heal. It does the ass hit? Doesn't.
Hercules trying to pull somebody under tower, wasn't able to do so successfully. Terra diving deep and looking for some kill opportunities here as they are able to at least pick up the Wheelix in a bad spot. Sobek missing the pluck. There's Hercules potentially going down as the horrific gimbal does work in getting just enough space cleared up for him to be able to clear up that kill. Sobek now in a bad spot, and Chalk more than glad to take this up long enough for his team members to almost get the kill. But Sobek had the dash up yet again. So now Santa Cruz in the driver's seat as Riverside was looking commanding earlier on. Wheelix is starting to fizzle out just a bit, and we're not seeing as much damage coming out from Ra, or at least not as many snipes landing. He hasn't had exactly a lot of opportunities. So this is where you start to see whether or not Riverside can come back into this one.
Absolutely. Bastet looking to jump on Savisaur and find the damage. The tower actually falls. He looks to find the tower. Savisaur forced into the Aegis. Damage from Hell connects, but it's not enough. Hell now out of mana as the rest of Santa Cruz actually decides to pull this Gold Fury and pick it up uncontested. More War Vision needed, definitely, from Riverside.
Scotty. Poor Scotty. You're looking at between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a kill here. I don't think that there's enough damage in the world for this Scotty to get out of this one. So she's just going to desperately look for maybe a kill. I'm not sure what you do in a 3 versus 1 scenario like that one. However, it doesn't look like anyone's in position to kind of get any kind of counter gold or counter objective. No one's around for the Fire Giant portal. There's no towers pushed up to try and pick up. There's nothing for them to do except say, all right, well, crap, we lost our ADC. Not really anything to say about it.
Big cleanse actually coming out from the Hell as Hercules wraps behind and finds the push, but it's just going to be cleansed off. Oh, Marcio64 looking to dive Savisaur. Boulder is not going to connect as cats are... Were they used as well? Yes, they were. Cats were used as well, looking to kill Savisaur. And this is where the strength of the Hell comes in. Omarcio dropping low, but with that Terra and the Hell, just a lot of healing coming out. Omarcio is going to be able to sit back, heal up with this team. Actually, Hell has to back, but Terra is able to do similar stuff. As Terra actually finds the double root, Prowl going to be stunned out as well. Now in a lot of trouble is the Hercules as he's forced to dash out. Chalk going to follow up. But going to be pulled is the Bastet. Awila doing a really good job of pulling out of the jump. Is she able to find it as Chalk dives the backline with Thorns? Omarcio actually able. Bluestone picks it up.
Yep, that's the Bluestone, all right. And now the fight continues as we're looking at 1 kill going each way, and it looks like Santa Cruz still has the potential to chase down, but a lot of frontline potential on the side of Riverside. Never mind the frontline potential. Hercules already taken out. He's gonna be getting obliterated by Liros as Ra used the ultimate to try and set up something, and it just wasn't enough. Uki still being that top tier solo laner that we saw out of last game, and another kill goes over the way of Santa Cruz as they pick up the Sobek. They're looking to try and take down this tower, or maybe take the Scotty. If she doesn't pay any attention, she was able to get Uki, but she was taken down in the process. Still a little bit of a win, picking up that kill, especially onto the soul laner Uki, who was on a killing spree, if I remember correctly. They're going to have to turn around and potentially get the Fire Giant forward, but not much else available to them. Felix making her way in.
They're going to be able to pick up a suit off, a decent objective for them to pick up, and this is where you see the strength of the Hell. I think Uki misplayed there and tanked the tower for a little bit too long, and if he didn't, at that point, the rest of his team was full health after that insanely long, vicious team fight, and that's just the power of that double sustain comp. Omarcio looking to zone off the Hercules as their team looks to pick up this Portal Demon. Wheelix looking to steal it with her Moonlit Charge as well, and coming through the portal is Uki as Santa Cruz confirms the Portal Demon. Uki looking to find some damage, but not able to find anything impactful as he walks out. But that's going to be Portal Demon going in favor of Santa Cruz. So another map objective. Riverside had such a good start to this game. They really did, but I think Santa Cruz, showing their experience as a team, were able to hold on and not let it spiral out of control the way that Riverside did in the first game. And Santa Cruz now has control of this game, solid 6,000 gold lead, and map control as well.
It hurts me to say this, but it feels like it's going back to the same points we were talking about earlier, -1. I feel like the soul laner has been getting bullied out by Uki, which now I think about it is a perfect name for a soul laner, and the support player hasn't necessarily been able to really be the front line. So I think that this just goes back to that front line not being able to sustain these fights, and their dependency is all on the mid laner and the jungler to get anything done. But we're seeing a rampage over on one side of the map, a kill going over on the other, as 2 frontliners were able to take out some members of Riverside on one end, and 2 members going down from Riverside on the other end. The only person remaining is going to be this mid laner, Ra, and he's also in a boxing. Oh, there it is! Savisaur doing exactly what Savisaur does.
Another big snipe coming out from the Ra, but it's not enough because the rest of his team got wiped on the other side of the map. The Hell really showing why Hell is a strong pick, pumping out crazy damage with that Book of Thoth and penetration boots that she has online. Meanwhile, the Hell actually going to engage on Savisaur on the right side, just transferring that pressure from one side of the map to the other. Savisaur going to be forced to use the Aegis to get out of there as the rest of Santa Cruz pushes the tier 2 left tower.
Savisaur's going to have to do some real magic joking if he wants to get out of this bad spot. He is able to get Terra dangerously low. One more shot. That's going to be the kill, at least on the Terra. But unfortunately for him, Hell was able to pick up the kill. That is Santa Cruz still leading the charge in this game, as it doesn't look like Riverside has many opportunities left to stay in it, especially with this tear that that Santa Cruz has been continuing since about the 10-minute, maybe even the 7-minute marker.
And Major, what the big thing I think here is for Santa Cruz is the Hell pick. The Hell just such a strong pick in the meta right now. You have to have something that really counters the Hell hard, or else he's just going to heal and sustain out of control and just impact these fights way too much. And I don't think that Riverside has what they need to counter this Hell. Aside from a 3-man dive onto this tower, not going to happen. Lyra's able to get out of there. 2-1 and 9.
I'm going to ask you this from a place of love. Do you still play ranked?
I do.
Who is your favorite mid laner to play in ranked?
Right now it's Raijin.
Oh, you caught me. Kill going over on the left side of the map. Chiron still not fearing anybody on this map. And Ra now trying to box him out. Does have the potential to do so with allies coming in nearby. Wheelix is available, but she needs to start using some of that CC that we know her for, or else they're going to have a very awkward fight here, losing at least somebody. Chiron making it back to his team members. A death going over on the right side of the map, as unfortunately Hercules can't find the strides to get back into this game. And oh, Savisaur, you beast! You monster! Picking up a kill. There is going to be another set going over to Santa Cruz, however, and Santa Cruz taking the win overall in this one.
Another 4-for-1 trade. Santa Cruz just commanding this game. I really think it's the picks here. They look after that long team fight, diving that tier 2 tower. All 3 members of Santa Cruz are already almost full health. Chiron has a heal in his passive. Terra has a team heal, and Shock has a self heal. They're all pretty healthy. Stunning on the Scotty, looking to make a play to defend this tower, but Chalk and Terra are going to say no and just frontline the Scotty away.
Meanwhile, Bastet trying to take the Gold Fury completely by herself, wasn't able to do so, used the cats, has Chiron coming in now. His lifesteal should be able to be enough for them to tank and take this Gold Fury. And meanwhile, Chalk, 1v3, no big deal. It's going to hurt a little bit. All right, it's a little bit more damage than I expected. Hey, Terra, could you help me out? Never mind, I'll turn right back around and use my ulti. Oh, crap, I've made a mistake. There's more of them. Oh, crap, teleport, get out, escape. There he is. He's going to be able to walk away from that one. That looks pretty bad, but you know what? He's a baller. He's Uki, doing exactly what his name implies and being a soul laner that doesn't care.
Absolutely. I'm surprised he got out there. Really good jukes and really good teleport coming out from Chuck. Really impressed he lived for a 1v5 at the enemy Phoenix there, but you know, he's doing what he's doing. He's impacting the game just as much as he did last game. Savisaur now going to be jumped on by Bastet. Going to be forced into the Aegis. Hell, healing up the Bastet. Bastet actually falling very low. Raw charging the ult, but Matthew picks it up right before it goes off. Omar forced to back as the rest of Santa Cruz barrels down this middle lane.
And Hell just keeping everyone nice and healthy. Even though they've been diving and teetering around this Phoenix, nobody actually looks like they've been in these long engagements, except now as some members of Santa Cruz are getting dangerously low. But the only people falling is on Riverside side. In fact, Sobek, the only person who's died, the frontliner, they need to go ahead and set up some of the CC for a Wheelix, and Terra just boxing it out with 3 members of Riverside, not really afraid of any damage coming back at her. Wheelix taking quite a bit of her damage herself. This is, again, a standoff where I do believe Riverside just has no answers.
Absolutely, and take a look at Chalk's health. Wasn't he about a quarter health just 10 seconds ago?
You know, I remember a time period where he was low. I think that...
This team comp just has so much healing to sustain. He was about a quarter health.
Oh!
Big boulder.
Hell, the damage! Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay, so Hell was able to do so much damage between 3 members and then walk away casually, just not even phased by it. Chiron standing between the tower and the Phoenix with Chalk, just trying to box it out, and Chalk is probably going to pick up this Hercules kill as well as give the opportunity for them to dive this Phoenix. I really do believe Santa Cruz has got this game pretty much wrapped up, especially after that Wheelix pick up.
Absolutely. Wheelik's going to follow Marcio on the Bastet as they look to barrage down the right lane and pick up this right lane Phoenix. It's going to be pretty uncontested. Ra looking to throw a little damage and a little healing for Sobek. Cat's used, something to take note of. Surrender vote does go out, though. Demoralized, I think, is Riverside. They're having trouble dealing with this just this massive health that Santa Cruz is able to draft and build around.
And even though it doesn't look like Riverside has got a lot going for them right now, I mean, credit to Savisaur, first of all, who's still performing relatively well given the circumstances. I just think that moving on to the next set, and I don't like to put the finishing blow on this game, but it really feels that way. 55 to 40,000 in a 20-minute game. That's a big hill to climb, especially when you've already lost to Phoenix. But if we were to say that there is a definitive, it's probably over. I think that they just need to focus on trying to get some help or some more sustainability out of the solo lane. I mean, Hercules, when he was playing anyone else, just wasn't able to find any rhythm. And even right now, you see he's going to get bullied out and taken out. I think Prowwow just needs to take a step back and realize that he is a frontline character that needs to do frontline things, and he's just not been able to do so in both last game and this one.
And I think a lot of it actually comes down to just farming as a solo laner. As Bastet looks to engage on Ra, gonna jump away, but Chalk coming around the back, gonna find the axe, not gonna find the teleport damage, but ulting Ra anyway, looking to take out this healer for Riverside. Huge auto attacks. He has a Transcendence, but Helix is gonna ult Chalk, forcing out the Thorns. Meanwhile, Santa Cruz picks up the Fire Giant and contested Scotty, pushing the left side of the map. So much going on the map right now. Sobek dashing out. Axe is going to find the kill as Chalk picks up Sobek as well.
And a lot of damage coming out into Hercules, who is again dangerously low. Cats used. They really want to pick up this kill. Not really worth it, but I think at this point it's more about the message than it is about the actual effectiveness of it. Turning their attention over to the middle of Phoenix, which is priority. Oh, they were still able to kill him in the fountain. That's demoralizing. So they're turning their attention over the Titan, as apparently they don't feel like they need to take any more Phoenixes or other objectives. But a couple of members of Riverside are up. I think that they need to back off of this. I think that this is reaching the point of over-aggression. Nope, never mind. Still getting another kill. Mango Swag going down again.
This hell is just so big. So much damage from Savisaur with the snipe. Picks up Bastet, but gonna get traded out instantly by the hell.
I like how casually they've just been working on this middle Phoenix. Like, somebody go take care of that. We're getting kills.
It'll go down eventually.
It's your turn. You go take care of it. No, I don't wanna. I wanna go over here and kill this Hercules. Well, Buttermine Matthew able to find a kill onto the Hercules, and now another kill actually onto the Sobek Kalik. Now looks like they might be able to take the. I mean, at this point, I don't know why they wouldn't turn their attention completely over to the Titan. Unfortunately, they've lost their they've lost their entire sustainability. So I think they're forced out of it.
They'll finish it up.
Okay, there it is. One more auto swing from that Titan, and I think Chiron would have went down. And I don't know if Terra would have had the damage to finish it, but. That is going to be the set. Santa Cruz taking it 2-0 quite decisively the first one. It looked a little shaky the second one, but I think overall Riverside put up a good performance in both games. Just a couple of instances where they just need to, kind of touch up if they want to really compete with these big boys.
Absolutely. Uki and Buttermine Matthew, I think, were the two MVPs of that game. Uki on that chalk, just providing an impenetrable front line. You saw him tanking 3-4 people at a time, not giving a care in the world. He was happy to just be in the middle of the fight, healing up and dealing damage. And then Buttermine Matthew, 13-1 on the Chiron, sitting behind the chalk, pumping out that damage. I think that Santa Cruz just had a really strong draft this game. They picked the Bastet for the early pressure, and then they had a lot of healing to supplement their late game, and they executed it perfectly.
I still have a couple of concerns because you see that they have such a heavy healing comp on both ends in its own way. But I think that more so was concerning that you look over at the side of Riverside. Well, I mean, what anti-heal items are you getting, really? You've got Pestilence. You don't have anything on the physical damage dealers. I think a Brawler's Beat Stick is more than justifiable when you're looking at Hell. I mean, what was her actual official numbers again? Let's see here. Her actual official healing was 15K, and then you've got a little bit spread out on other players as well. So you've got all this healing happening between Chalk, Chiron, Terra, hell, and the only thing you're banking on is 2 Ankhs, which are perfectly reasonable. I'm not discrediting the Ankhs. That is very necessary. And then 1 Pestilence. And then that's it. You're basically basing it off of an entire team fight where you can chain Ankh after Ankh, and that's all you got. And in these small skirmishes, when you just have Scotty, a Wheelix, and one of your frontliners who got bullied out quite often, it just didn't work out. I think that you have to respect hell, like you mentioned, and it just never was respected.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to harp on it, but there was just so much healing coming out of Santa Cruz. And the only item they had outside of actives was a single Pestilence. You know, I think Raw needed to go in early Divine Ruin. I think a Wheelix needed to go in early Brawlers. Scotty, being a caster, was picking up a Mace of some sort, 4th item. I sure hope that was going to be Brawlers, but I would consider picking that up even earlier as well. There was just so much healing on the side of Santa Cruz that once they hit the mid-game and they grouped up, they were just able to steamroll fights. The longer fights went on, the better for them. They're just going to keep on healing every time that round of cooldowns comes up. So, big game.
That's going to be the end of this one. We have Santa Cruz taking it 2-0 against Riverside. Santa Cruz, definitely a team to watch if you are going to be watching this entirety of AVGL League. I got to say that they're pretty strong. I'm gonna wait and see who else shows up tonight, but we're going to go ahead and get set up for our next match. Remember, guys, go ahead, watch more, get a higher chance of winning the 400 gem 400 gem giveaway at the end of the stream. We have one more set to go through, so longer you watch, more credits you get, and more chances you have to go ahead and win that one up. So we'll be back after a brief moment. We're going to get set up for the next match. Don't you guys go anywhere. Don't you guys go anywhere. Man, my English is bad tonight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Turns out I fibbed. I'm sorry. Forgive me, because we actually are going to be cutting it off here tonight. We have a League of Legends event happening right after this one that is going to feature a very good match as well as some very good casters. So we don't want to hold them up, but we also want to make sure that we get you all the gems that we promised. And if you didn't see it in chat already, Incognitus was taken. Unfortunately, it sucks that your name was taken, but you did win 400 gems. So be sure to go ahead and message this AVGL chat to go ahead and receive your gems, as we will go ahead and be signing off from the Smite end, but getting warmed up and ready for the League of Legends end. So if you've got the chance, if you like League of Legends like I do sometimes when I don't get bullied every game, you can go ahead and stick around, watch, follow the channel as well as the Twitter, and we will be signing off here from the Smite team. But I want to go ahead and give Penny the opportunity to plug himself on the Twitter and Twitch into things. So Penny, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Penny Smite, Peny Smite, and you can find me on Twitch, streaming basically every day, actually, at twitch.tv/Penyembuh, PENYEMBUH. It's been great casting with you, Major. I had a really good time. You're an excellent Chair 1. And I appreciate I appreciate AVGL for giving us the opportunity as well, and I appreciate you guys for watching us and watching these great collegiate teams that we have for you to play. So be sure you watch the rest of the season. It's going to be a great one, culminating in a $10,000 championship live at Hi-Res Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Big shout out to them for giving us that opportunity as well. And that's about it. So I've been casting with Major. My name is Penny. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
changes.
Life.